me. A lot of people reaching out online, even finding Bailey on TikTok, Instagram, and on social media, and saying that they really...
There was no reason. There was no purpose. These haunting words were spoken by a judge in the courtroom.
In this case, based on the prior statements that he made to his girlfriend and his friend, so that he could keep on killing. He told his best friend that he wanted to kill someone to see what it felt like, and he wanted to watch them bleed out.
But they echo far beyond the walls of justice. On a quiet Mother's Day morning in a warm Florida suburb, a 13-year-old girl walked away from safety, and hours later, the world she knew ceased to protect her. Her body was found in a secluded woods, her promise cut down in the prime of youth. This is the story of Tristyn Bailey.
The St. Johns County was notified by the family of Tristyn Bailey that she was reported missing this morning at 10 o'clock this morning. 13 years old, white female. They gave a clothing description. The family last saw her last night at approximately midnight, and at that time the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office in this community went to work this morning. This was an exhausting search by the neighborhood, by the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. We have located a body that is preliminarily identified as Tristyn Bailey. Again, it's in the early stages, but we will verify that through the process. I will tell you.
In the gentle glow of a neighborhood street lamp, laughter once drifted from the cul-de-sac. Yet that evening, something changed, something beyond understanding. This case didn't just break a family's heart, it shattered the illusion of safety. Let's descend into the depths of evidence. Tristyn Bailey was born January 18, 2008, and grew up in the Durbin Crossing community of St. Johns County, Florida. She was a cheerleader at Patriot Oaks Academy, a friend to many, always smiling, always willing to help. Her coaches remembered a young girl who lit up the gym, who promised good things ahead. Her world was suburban, safe-feeling, familiar, homes with picket fences, children riding bikes, parents chatting across driveways. Tristyn's mom, Stacy, her dad, Forrest, and her younger sister, Alexis, described her as kind-hearted and full of life. On the night of May 8th, leading into May 9th, 2021, Tristyn joined friends in her neighborhood. It was supposed to be a typical late-night hangout, fun, laughter, perhaps some mischief of a 13-year-old's evening. The stakes? Normal teenage freedom. But in this case, that freedom came with a price no family should ever pay. Because hours later, the unthinkable happened. Her family reported her missing early that Sunday morning, and the world she knew would never feel safe again. Tristyn was walking home, or believed to be, on a path that should have been safe. Instead, something dark awaited. The innocence of youth collided with a brutal act. That's what is at stake. A life, a family, a community's trust. May 9th, 2021, early morning hours. Around 12 a.m., Tristyn was last seen by her family in the Durbin Crossing neighborhood. At approximately 1:45 a.m., residential surveillance footage captured Tristyn and a classmate, Aiden Fucci, age 14 at the time, walking east on Saddlestone Drive. Investigators believe the two had been together. Shortly thereafter, at 1:52 a.m., or within minutes, the same camera recorded one individual running in the opposite direction, shoes in hand, alone. That person is believed to be Fucci. Late morning. At about 10:01 a.m., Tristyn's family reported her missing to the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, SJSO, after discovering she did not return home. Evening, 6:00 p.m. A resident walking near a retention pond in the wooded area off Saddlestone Drive discovered the body of a teenage girl. It was later confirmed to be Tristyn. The location, just a few hundred yards from her home. Crime scene and forensic findings. The autopsy revealed that Tristyn suffered 114 stab or cutting wounds, 49 of them defensive in nature, meaning she fought for her life. A broken tip of a buck folding knife was lodged in her scalp. A matching knife sheath and wet blood-stained items were found at Fucci's home. Investigators discovered in the residence a bathroom sink drain that tested positive for blood, genes that were reportedly being scrubbed by Fucci's mother, Crystal Smith. shoes with moisture, a sheath matching the knife found near the pond. Charges and legal progress. On May 10, 2021, Fucci was arrested and booked for second-degree murder. On May 27, 2021, his charge was upgraded to first-degree premeditated murder, indicating investigators believed the act was planned. Months of hearings followed, a series of motions, mental health evaluations, change of venue requests, discovery of evidence, including hundreds of witness statements. February 6, 2023, moments before jury selection, Fucci pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. March 24, 2023. At age 16, Fucci was sentenced to life in prison, with review eligibility after 25 years. Now we delve into the unsettling details. Why did this happen, and who really carried the weight of responsibility? Theory 1. A premeditated thrill-kill mindset. Investigators concluded there was no robbery, no prior dispute, no sexual assault. During sentencing, the judge observed, "There was no reason, there was no purpose." Source: news commentary. That suggests the act was done purely for the sake of violence. Documents show that Fucci allegedly told friends he planned to take someone into the woods and stab them. One witness said Fucci boasted about wanting to kill. Theory 2. Missed warning signals and social media indications. Before the murder, classmates and friends reported Fucci made violent remarks, drew disturbing images, and carried a knife around. The newly released documents revealed he told friends killing someone was inevitable. After the murder, social media and surveillance footage added disturbing context. Fucci posted a Snapchat selfie in a police car with caption, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristyn lately?" which raised eyebrows. Source: independent news summary. The question lingers. Could some adult, parent, teacher, friend, have intervened earlier? Were the signs visible but ignored? Theory 3. The setting of opportunity. The Durban Crossing neighborhood was a typical suburb, quiet, safe feeling. On that early Sunday morning, the woods and pond behind the homes became the scene of tragedy. Security cameras outside homes provided footage, but the woods themselves gave the perpetrator a hiding spot. Evidence included surveillance showing Tristyn walking with Fucci, his shoes in hand after, his wet clothes at home, all aligning with moment of violence. Key evidence: surveillance footage at 1:45 a.m. showing Tristyn and Fucci walking. Evidence of Fucci running from scene with shoes in hand. The knife found near the pond, tip missing, tip later found in Tristyn's scalp. Blood and water in sink drain at Fucci home, jeans being washed by his mother, matching sheath. Yet, for all this, the motive remains elusive. None of the typical motives: jealousy, robbery, revenge. It appears the crime was about violence itself. That unanswered why continues to reverberate through the community. For Tristyn's family, the aftermath has been unbearable. At the sentencing hearing, her younger sister Alexis dropped 114 aqua-colored heart-shaped stones into a jar, one stone for each stab wound her sister endured. In the Durban Crossing community, nothing looked the same. Neighbors who once chatted over fences now stopped mid-stride and glanced over their shoulders. Candle-lit vigils were held. The gym where Tristyn cheered dedicated its season to her memory. Legal and societal questions followed. How should society treat juvenile offenders who commit such brutality? Fucci was 14 at the time, charged as an adult, sentenced to life, but eligible for review much later. The case became a flashpoint in debates over the juvenile justice system. Psychologically, it forced us to ask, how well do we know the kids in our communities? The ones who smile in class, walk home at dusk, and go to sleep thinking tomorrow they'll play with friends again? For the Bailey family, the daily question remains, what if? What if she had stayed at home a little longer? What if someone had intervened earlier? These what ifs don't make the pain easier, but they keep the memory alive. And finally, what does this do to a community's sense of safety? When the unthinkable happens next door, where does one draw the line between innocence and vigilance? Tristyn's story is a tragic reminder of the fragility of life, the depths of human darkness, and the responsibility we bear toward our children, our neighbors, our communities. Her life may have been cut short, but the conversation her death sparked is far from over. At Depths of Evidence, we believe the mark of a case is not just in its resolution, but in its lessons. If you found this story compelling, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment. What do you believe is the single most important change schools or communities should make to prevent tragedies like this? Join the conversation below, because even when the motive remains unknown, sharing awareness still makes a difference. Thank you for watching, and until next time.